guys, this is John with GoWesty. Today we're going to run through a little slider door maintenance. If your slider door sounds like this, isn't rolling too good or has trouble latching, anything like that, this video is going to be for you. I'm going to show you some different products that we sell to help you out and ways to fix it. So what we're going to start with is a side panel. This is a roller mechanism. This panel covers it. It's attached to the van by two screws. One is right behind here and one is right behind here. They're Phillips head. So we're going to take those off and then we'll pop the panel off. So sometimes the screws are so rusted that you need to use an impact to get them out. Or sometimes they're so bad that they strip, and what you're going to have to do is drill them out. You're going to use a drill bit that's slightly larger than the threads of the screw itself. Once you have the head drilled away, you can remove the rest with a pair of vice grips. So now that we have both of our screws out of the way, we're going to pop this panel off. It needs to come out a bit and then up out of its channel. Sometimes I like to wiggle it just a little, just to break it loose. There's a lot of dirt and corrosion that collects inside this channel, and it helps to kind of break it loose. You don't want to bend it. It also can help, depending on how dirty or corroded it is, to spray a little bit of soap into this channel to help loosen it up some. So you can use two different tools here. You can use a rubber mallet or you can use a wooden block to protect the plate and a regular hammer. Remember, we're going to want to pry it out a little bit and then up, and it'll pop out of that channel. So something like this is going to be where about 80% of that noise and resistance comes from. Super rusted, really corroded, and really dirty. There's 3 bolts that hold this assembly to your door. 2 of them you can see here, and the third one is inside the door behind the door panel. So we'll pop off the door panel and pull this out. There's just this one screw that holds this handle on. That's the only thing holding the door panel on other than the clips inside. So we'll remove this screw, the handle pops off, and now we can pop our door panel out. So with the door panel removed, now we have access to this bolt. So depending on the height of the vehicle, I like to just use a paint bucket and a 2x4 to hold the door once we undo it. With our paint bucket in place, remove the 2 remaining bolts and lower the door onto the bucket. The roller assembly can now be pulled from the door and removed from the van. So now that we have our panel off and everything disassembled, we're going to clean this area up. There's a lot of surface oxidation here that we're going to simply scrub, etch, primer, and then we'll paint it and reassemble our door. Use soap and water or a mild degreaser along with a scrub brush and a few towels to get rid of all the built up dirt and grime that's gotten trapped over time. So now that we've got everything nice and clean and dry using compressed air, all the moisture is out of all of our nooks and crannies and cracks, I'm going to use some sandpaper to take down a lot of this loose paint and a lot of the surface oxidation. I'm going to use 100 grit and 220. 100's a little bit aggressive, but for stuff like this where the paint's just really peeling up real bad, we'll hit it real fast, and then we'll go to the smoother 220, and we'll primer it and paint it, and we'll be good to go. So once we get it all taped off, we're going to go ahead and spray it with a primer and a rust inhibitor. This is going to keep it from rusting in the future and give us a good surface for our bearings to ride on. While this isn't what we would do for a restoration vehicle, what this is something that you can do in your garage or front yard on a weekend really easily that will keep it from rusting in the future. So this is our original assembly that we pulled out of the van. It's got a lot of surface oxidation on it, a lot of dirt. We're going to try and clean it up. What we do have available on our website is a brand new German model, direct from factory, that's available that you could just replace it with. These bearings are held in by 2 retaining clips, which can be popped off and the bearings removed, and if necessary, replaced with new ones available through our website. So we do sell this roller individually that you can replace. It's really easy. You just need a 10mm socket to undo this nut right here. There'll be a lock washer. Rest it on the edge of that and then tap this center and it'll push it out. So all you have to do is slip the new one on, press it into place. Use your lock washer and the nut, tighten it down, and you're good to go. A little lubrication here is good, and it helps to work the arm back and forth to remove the fluid through the mechanism. So I pulled this latch off to get it out of the way while I painted. You might want to inspect yours and see what the end of the hook looks like. If it's worn, we do sell a good replacement online. This latch is fine, so we're just going to reuse it. Now it's time to put the assembly back into the door. We need to get the guide into the van before we put the rest of the assembly into the door. The way you're going to want to do this is point this out, tilt it back, get that right on the ridge, and then the bearings will go up inside the channel. We'll slide this all the way forward, put the tab into the door, and put the bolt into the hinge on the inside of the door first. There's an opening in the door itself that makes it pretty simple to get the bolt back through to the plate, and then move to the outer two. So I like to apply a little bit of grease on the rail and up inside the channel. Anywhere where a bearing is going to ride is a good place to have just a little bit of grease. Now's the time to clean the outer cover and slip on a new beading that we sell online. Putting the panel back on is a lot easier than it was to remove it. You simply slide the top edge into place, snap it down, and put the screws in. That's it for the middle of our slider video. Be sure to check out the next video where we'll go over a little maintenance for the upper and lower slider assemblies on the door. It hurts my throat so bad.